So today I thought I'd do my first favorites video for the month of February. I feel like this is just another good way to share a bit more about myself as well as the things I'm into. As I was looking at other favorites videos for inspiration, I noticed that there weren't many guys that did these kinds of videos unless they strictly kind of just did fashion and like clothing pickups and stuff like that. So I thought I'd mix it up a little bit more and include more stuff. So just for a heads up, I'm going to be covering my monthly pickups, products I'm using, music, books, and that sort of thing. First up, we have these visvim crystals that I got through a trade with my friend. These are like the black Patrick ones, as you can see here. But yeah, these are super nice because I've never actually owned any slippers before. I like how you can just throw these on with any outfit pretty much, and if you're running to the store or just in a rush to go to class or whatever. I'm super psyched to own these. Visvim was like probably one of the first brands that got me into fashion. And so, yeah, I don't know. A little history about the Christo, if you don't know already. Hiroki Nakamura named these after Christo Vladimirov Javachev, I believe his name is. He just goes by the mononym Christo, however. He is a Bulgarian artist. Yeah, in an interview with Beinghunted, Hiroki Nakamura had this to say: "Shoes are in a way very similar to Christo's wrappings of bridges, monuments, natural formations, and other varieties of everyday objects. The wrappings offer a viewer a general idea of what is underneath without revealing what is really underneath. The sandal covers most of your feet, revealing only small parts with a strap that crisscrosses the top of your foot, as if your feet were bound inside the material." So, cool little fact about these. Next, I got this crazy alpaca fur hoodie from Our Legacy. This was on sale for their website, retail for about 500 euros, which is around 570 US dollars. But after their end of season sales, it was only about 170 euros, so under 200 US dollars. But yeah, it's super well made. The alpaca fur is just crazy. While I don't know the definite truth on this, alpaca fur is supposedly the most eco-friendly wool in the world. Unlike most cashmeres and mohair wools, alpaca wool is actually very eco-friendly and cruelty-free, or so I've read. I'll link a few articles in the description below. But a little bit about Our Legacy as a brand is that they're firstly from Stockholm. They produce all their garments within Europe in very small quantities. And rather than burn old collections like most designer brands do, they actually give all their old garments to their workshop concept store, and where they repurpose and kind of rework their old materials to make new garments, which I thought was really cool. When asked about whether sustainability was a big thing in their brand, they said, "It is something that we think about constantly. We try to integrate it into our daily work. We produce everything in Europe with small factories where we could have an overview of production. I think a big problem in general is overproduction and overconsumption. We produce small quantities and try to take care of our leftover fabrics and trim." They also said in another question, "Will we show that sustainability and recycling does not have to be guilt connected? It can be fun, creative, and free." But yeah, I feel like clothing companies should always strive to be more eco-friendly in the future. Of course, that's not always possible. But as consumers, you know, we kind of want to buy things that we find desirable. So I like Our Legacy because they kind of combine an eco-friendliness aspect to what a consumer would want in terms of quality and products. Next, I bought this really cool denim collarless jacket by Mihara Yasuhiro. But yeah, this is a reversible jacket. I can't say I really like the other side of it though, but that's fine. I feel like it adds a lot of depth to really any outfit. It's so versatile, and you can really experiment with different accessories and different pairings to just give it a different vibe, you know? Lately I've been super into Mihara Yasuhiro and other Japanese designers that are kind of similar. They'll kind of draw on that Americana style, the kind of like grungy and casual, but also really unique and eclectic in terms of like asymmetry, silhouettes, sizing, and that sort of thing. I feel like my style personally is headed more and more towards that direction. I kind of like go back and forth, but honestly it's really cool. If you want to know more about Mihara Yasuhiro, there's a really good article on Gorham that I will link below. Side fact, Mihara Yasuhiro went to Tama Art University in Tokyo, the same university as Issey Miyake. Yeah, speaking of Issey Miyake, my last pickup is this Issey Miyake button-up. It's a really lightweight piece. It has the Mandarin collar, which I really like. Not much to say here. Again, I said it's very lightweight, has a really interesting fit, The sleeves here have this sort of pleat to them. They're actually shorter than than your normal sleeves would on a button-up. But yeah, there's a cool side pocket on the front. You kind of style this a bunch of different ways: buttoned, unbuttoned, tucked in, whatever. But yeah, so those are my pickups for this month. Next, I wanted to talk about fragrance. So I am an absolute madman for good smelling fragrances. I recently bought this Byredo fragrance from Barney's. It is their scent Gypsy Water. This came in a few different forms, as their default perfume, as a roll-on, and as this hair perfume. Now I went with the hair perfume because it was cheaper. This was around $70, whereas their default perfume was about $160 for 50 milliliters. Also, I went with this one because the lady there said that the hair perfume works better on people with obviously more hair. My hair gets pretty thick and it gets pretty fucking oily, so it actually helps retain the aroma for this. But yeah, all of Byredo's fragrances smell super good. Honestly, better than Le Labo, which I know is really popular right now. This one in particular smells super refreshing and really naturey, but also very deep. The notes as described by Byredo are bergamot, pine needle, sandalwood, amber, vanilla, and other things. But yeah, the founder of Byredo, Ben Gorham, has a really interesting story. First of all, he was born in Sweden. He's half Indian, half white. He's 6'5", used to play basketball, then got his arts degree and then started Byredo. But yeah, I'll link a cool Highsnobiety video about him in the description because it's really interesting. Moving on, I thought I'd talk about skincare. Now, I know this is kind of weird because not many dudes talk about skincare on their channels, but you know, it's 2019, I think we can talk about it, guys. One of my favorite YouTubers, Joan Kim, raves on and on about K-beauty companies like Innisfree, Cosrx, all really great brands. I've been using them for a long time and they seem to work for me. Recently, my friend though, Ashlee, who has a YouTube channel of her own if you want to check it out, gifted me a bunch of stuff by DHC, a Japanese skincare company that she used to work with. But yeah, she gave me a ton of stuff. Cleansing oil, face wash, toner, essence, and face lotion. But yeah, I've been loving all this stuff so far, especially this cleansing oil. As someone who has really oily skin, I feel like this really helps clean my face without like it feeling too dry afterwards, you know? But yeah, it's great. It kind of just feels like you're like rubbing olive oil all over your face. I think this is actually formulated with olive oil, which is pretty cool. But yeah. Next, I wanted to talk about books that I'm reading. Right now, I am reading this book called And Then by Natsume Soseki. It's a Japanese book translated into English. As you can tell, I have lots of Japanese influence in my life. I picked this up because I wanted to read other Japanese authors, not just my favorite, Haruki Murakami. I just felt like I should branch out and stuff. I found this at a used bookstore and I just, you know, thought it sounded interesting. But yeah, it's basically about this guy who lives in Japan, who has lived a very privileged life. And he thinks he's like really woke or whatever because well, first of all, he doesn't even get a job because he like can't relate to like human affairs and shit like that. So far I can't even tell what like period this takes place in, because like 1 second I thought they were talking on the phone, so like, oh, 80s or whatever. But then his dad's like, oh yeah, I challenged this wandering samurai who was like going through our village. And I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, onto music. I've been listening to a lot of bands from Japan, obviously. I'll put a little mashup at the end of this video, but I make a playlist every month and I kind of just fill it with shit that I find throughout that month. But yeah, which you can find on my Spotify, which once again I will link below. Of those bands though, I've been really liking this band called Awesome City Club. Super fun, indie alternative, like pop vibes. They have this one music video where they're just like dancing inside a gap. Which is, it's just so wholesome and fun, you know? But yeah, I've also been listening to this band called Mitsume, who have a similar sound. An artist called Mulbrich, who has really cool music videos. But yeah, I'll make a little mashup at the end of this video. I also have a website that used to be my photo portfolio, but nowadays it's more of a blog. I have a little section there dedicated to all the music that I'm listening to, favorite albums that I'm listening to, favorite live performances / music videos. So again, will be down in the description below. I've also been listening to a lot of Blade lately, who's by far my favorite artist. He released a couple songs this month, Trash Star and All I Want. Next, I wanted to talk about video games that I'm playing now, because I do consider myself a gamer, and while I don't play games as much as I used to, they are pretty, you know, frequent, ongoing in my life. And I feel like no one really talks about video games in like a casual sense, you know, unless they're like specifically gaming channels. Lately I've been playing Anthem, a game by Bioware and EA. You've probably heard that it kind of sucks, but honestly, I'm enjoying it. The combat is super fun, the story is garbage, don't get me wrong. But you know, I try not to take it too seriously. You know, if I can just fly around, shoot some aliens and shit, you know. Again, I don't really play that long sessions when I play video games, so if I can just hop in and have some fun real quick with my friends, then it's all good. I'm also guilty of playing Apex Legends, which I know is all the rage right now. I kind of hate Battle Royale games and just their overall effect on the gaming industry and like community, but I think Apex Legends, out of the whole lot of them, is probably the best and the most fun I've had in a Battle Royale game. But yeah, again, I just like how I can just, you know, log in, play a real quick game or two, and you know, go on my day. But yeah, so that's all my favorites for February. Let me know if you guys like this video. I'm still kind of getting comfortable talking to a camera. It is kind of weird for me. Plus, like when my family members are around, I'm kind of shy. I don't want to talk too loudly, but yeah, thanks again for watching, and peace.
Wish upon a star.